Good evening, Internet. I'm Ash. This is the 3 Count, and you are watching the Aerial Offensive, Episode 2, where we talk about everything that's happened on this week's 205 Live. Now, this is basically your run-of-the-mill 205 Live story yet again. 3 matches as about normal. It happens about every week. But this week was kind of weird. It kind of revolved around Enzo and his new team, I'm guessing, which he's calling the Zo Train, which consists of himself, Noam Dar, Drew Gulak, Arya Daivari, and Tony Nese. That is who this consists of. It's Thanksgiving in America, I think. But either way, the show opened tonight with Enzo, Noam, Tony, and Arya around a table eating Thanksgiving food. You know, there's turkey, you got all your side stuff, gravy, all that sort of good stuff. And they were sitting there and they're having themselves a good time. But Enzo wasn't happy with what had happened with his 4-man team on Monday Night Raw when they lost to the faces of 205 Live. Now, I think it's a bit silly that they put a 4-on-4 match. I know that they didn't have 5, but they did that on Raw when you've just 24 hours before had a Survivor Series pay-per-view which showcases tag team wrestling. Now, they could have made the most of that and done absolutely amazing by just chucking it. That could have gone on the pre-show if need be, but that would have suited more. Yeah, it would have suited the show better than having Enzo defending against Kalisto yet again. So there was a missed opportunity there. But either way, Enzo wasn't too happy with the fact that his team lost. He let the guys know it and saying that they need to win if they want to be on the Zo Train. He tried emphasising the fact that if they start winning their matches, he might give them a future championship match down the line. Then he realised that Drew Gulak was missing. And then when he asked, Noam Dar said, he's doing his PowerPoint presentations again, which I am quite a big fan of, by the way. Good job. But then, out of nowhere, the gobbledygooker of all people comes onto the screen. Now, if you don't know who the gobbledygooker is, it's a big turkey, basically, guy in a turkey costume. But he came along, starts doing a little dance, and then takes off the mask, and it's Drew Gulak. And he calls himself the Gobbledygulaker. I found that funny, but that's just me. Then we went straight into our first fight, which was a street fight match between Drew Gulak and Akira Tozawa, who have been feuding for what feels like an eternity now. And I really hope that after last night that they've sort of cancelled it. Well, that's the end of the feud, I'm hoping. Street fight, so Gulak came out in like normal clothing, jeans, your t-shirts. So he wasn't in his normal pants for what, the guys call him as Captain Underpants, but he didn't come out in normal tights. The match was an okay match, considering that nobody watches the show. It was a pretty good match. You had chair spots, kendo sticks, tables, trash cans, and you even had Akira Tozawa throwing Drew Gulak through his own no chanting sign. What else did we have? There was you had Akira Tozawa as well. He ran across the table and he sort of did like a front flip senton off the announce table onto Gulak on the outside. That was pretty neat. My notes again. The match didn't last too long. It was about a 10-minute match. It was pretty good. It finished when the table was brought into the ring, set up in the corner. Akira Tozawa put a trash can, if you're American, or a steel bin, if you're British, over Drew Gulak's head, and then Akira Tozawa decided to beat the holy hell into him with a kendo stick. Now, while the bin was still on his head, Gulak fell onto the table, and Akira Tozawa took to the top rope and hit his finishing move. The drop zone. That's done. I should really write these down if I can't remember them, but I don't. Why not? Bit silly, really. But yeah, he hits his finisher, the drop zone, through the bin, through Gulak, through the table, and he picked up the win. 1, 2, 3. This was my favourite part of the night. By far. A vignette hyping up the soon-to-be debut of none other than NXT's Hideo Itami. Now, there's been rumours that this is what's going to be happening for a while, that they'd be bringing Hideo up from NXT and putting him onto 205 Live, and that really should give the show a little bit more star power. And I was really hoping it was true, and it's true, guys. He's come into 205 Live, which gives loads of people more incentive to watch it. Then, after the little announcement, it went back to Enzo and the guys backstage, and Enzo's telling the guys that they need to pick up wins because they can't keep letting the Zo Train down the way that Drew Gulak just did. And then he was telling Tony Nese that he needs to get out there and put on a match of his own. Then they was interrupted then by Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali, who were taking the mickey out of the way Enzo Amore talks and a little few of his catchphrases, which, childish, but it's WWE and it's Vince McMahon, so what else are you expecting? Then the match after that was Mustafa Ali versus Tony Nese, and I really think that Tony Nese could probably tone down, I should say, his little gimmicky thing where he just berates the entire crowd as he's about to come down to the ring by dimming the lights, saying that everybody wishes they could be him, and then pointing out his 8-pack. Just point the 8-pack out as you're going down to the ring, dude. Saves a lot of time. I know it's an hour show, and I don't want to be sitting here listening to you do the same shtick over and over again. You haven't even got a microphone, so it kind of, quills it out. It was a kind of run-of-the-mill match. It wasn't brilliant, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. It was watchable. Could use it as the toilet break, because it's the centre of the evening, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, this match went on. I think the highlight of the match was when Mustafa Ali took to the top rope whilst Tony Nese was on the outside and hit a full 360 senton from the top rope, connecting to the outside, and that was about the only part that was noteworthy. They got into the ring, and then, in shades of what Enzo did to defend his championship against Kalisto, Tony Nese took Ali's head, smashed it against the ring post, and then he basically went with a running knee. He sort of landed in the turnbuckle. Ali landed in the turnbuckle. Tony Nese bounced off the ropes and connects with a running knee then into the bottom turnbuckle, and then picks up the win. 1, 2, 3. It cut back then again to the Zo Train, as Enzo's calling his little posse, but it was just Enzo, Noam Dar, and Arya Daivari, and he was telling him that they now need to take inspiration from what Tony Nese has just done and go out and do the same thing. Otherwise, they're going to end up like Drew Gulak. Camera pans out. Gulak is back in the gobbledygooker outfit, saying that he's really upset that he didn't go to the toilet before putting the costume on, and he's asking if he can come out of timeout now. To which Enzo said, no. Then that was it for that little segment. Then we're into our main event of the evening, which is a tag team match between Noam Dar and Arya Daivari, being accompanied by the Cruiserweight Champion Enzo Amore, taking on Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander. Now, this match went about the way you'd think it would go with the storylines and I think they're going to go with, which I will elaborate on. But it was just a run-of-the-mill match. There wasn't much there, really. You had Enzo interfering every time like a pinfall was made, or just to try and give his team the upper hand. He did berate his team every now and then, telling Arya Daivari to tag Noam Dar in because he thought Noam Dar was a lot more capable than Daivari was. Which turned out to be rather crap nonetheless. And surprisingly, Rich Swann managed to pick up the win after hitting a Phoenix Splash on Noam Dar, regardless of the interferences caused by Enzo Amore. But this didn't stop Enzo from jumping into the ring after the bell had already rung, just to beat the crap into Rich Swann. Cedric obviously tried to get in to try and stop the beatdown, which was halted by Enzo. Enzo's already fighting. Which was halted by Noam and Arya. And then you had Mustafa Ali and Akira Tozawa. They tried coming down to the ring to try and help, but they were blocked halfway down the entrance ramp by Tony Nese and Drew Gulak. Now, they were fighting, and they brawled on the outside for about 30 seconds, which took them out of the fight completely for some reason. They got back into the ring to start with, and they just destroyed Swann and Alexander. And the way I think this is going is that they're going to try and build this now as, like, you've got 5 members sitting on the Zo Train, which is Enzo Amore. I've already said this at the beginning of the video, but just to keep you updated so you can see where I'm going with this. Enzo Amore, Noam Dar, Arya Daivari, Tony Nese, and Drew Gulak. So you've got those 5, and then you have the faces. So 5 and then 4 faces. And you have Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, Akira Tozawa, and Mustafa Ali. Now, there's 5 on 4 there, and I think they're going to try and keep that going for maybe another month to like the next Raw pay-per-view, where they will then bring in Hideo Itami and put him with the current faces, which doesn't really make sense considering the fact that he's left NXT as a heel, as he was in a rivalry with Cassius Ohno, because we haven't seen him for a good couple of weeks now, since the match with Cassius and Hideo at NXT TakeOver. I can't remember which one. Good match nonetheless, as it would be Cassius Ohno and Hideo Itami. It's going to be a good match. But there was, that's what I think is going to happen. You could interchange Hideo with Kalisto, but I think you're just running that down and flogging a dead horse if you're going to put Kalisto back in there to go up against Enzo yet again. I can more see an Hideo Itami versus Enzo Amore for the Cruiserweight Championship, with Hideo going onto the faces side. But Hideo did take to Twitter after the announcement of his arrival that will be coming soon. No specific date given, but he did go onto Twitter saying, "You will show me," and then in caps lock, "Respect." Now, I'm really excited to see Hideo Itami come to 205 Live. What about you guys? Will this make you guys watch more 205 Live? Or will this make you still sit there and go, it's not for me, I'm just not going to bother? I would recommend 205 Live, because you will keep up to date then on the storylines going on Raw. But again, everybody's got their own preference. I still haven't missed an episode. That was episode 52 last night. And I'm still looking forward to seeing where they go. Hopefully picking up all the pieces, trying to fill back in what they had with Neville. Hopefully. But that was the Aerial Offensive, guys. I've been Ash Prosser. Thank you for watching tonight, and I will speak to you soon.